Have you been thinking about getting into Forex trading? Forex trading opens up a world of opportunity for those who know how to do it properly. You can experience financial freedom and reap tremendous rewards for your trading skills. Unfortunately, many programs make big promises and throw students into the trading market without the proper knowledge and expertise to succeed. Fortunately, there is a solution. Great White FX Academy is the best place to start your Forex trading journey with the tools, resources, and education necessary to help you thrive in the market. Great White FX is an online Forex training platform that provides technical training that will help you succeed. It is of the utmost importance to have a proper qualitative education to participate in Forex trading, and that is exactly what Great White FX focuses on. You can reach us on Facebook at Great White FX and Forex Educational Academy, on Instagram at Great White FX, on Twitter at Great White FX, or call us at 234-803-930-61888.
Hello, good evening. You're welcome to this week's Forex review for the 31st of August to 4th of September 2020 with Great White FX for the following pairs: the dollar index, gold, EURUSD, GBPUSD, EURGBP, GBPCHF, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, dollar yen, euro yen, pound yen, and USDCHF. Before we move further, I'd like you to go through the risk disclaimer. High-risk investment. Trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and may be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of the risk associated with foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have doubts. So, with that out of the way, let's get down to business to see what we have this week on the chart. So, as always, we're just going to start with the fundamental news. So, looking at this week, on the 1st, we have a high impact. That's on Tuesday, 1st of September. We have the Aussie cash rate statement. That's cash rate and Republic Bank rate statement coming at this is coming at 5:30 a.m. West African time. So on that same Tuesday, we have ISM manufacturing PMI for the US dollar. Then on Wednesday, we have gross domestic product for the Aussie. For Australia, then 1:15 p.m. ADP non-farm employment change. So this week has high impact news. Then on Friday, we have non-farm payroll and the Canadian unemployment change. So this week is going to have a lot of heavy impact. So let's get into our charts and see what the charts have for us. So as always, we're going to start with the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index, for now, the dollar index is still in a downtrend. If you ask me, it's still bearish. The dollar index may be gunning for this area here at 90.72. That's where it might be gunning for before any move higher. So we just need to be aware of that. That area comes in at somewhere here, 90.73, somewhere here. It's not very visible on the weekly time frame, but if you go to it on the monthly, it's very, very visible. So that might be the level the dollar index might be looking to get to. So how are you going to trade this pair? So looking at this pair, the long term is bearish. What I would advise is you sell into corrections. That's if you start to see a bullish move as a bullish correction, and it gets into an area of resistance, then you might look to take a short position. But for now, this pair is still the major trend is to the downside, and it is in a consolidation, as you can see. So this pair might still try to move lower. The next pair we're going to look at is gold. So looking at gold, gold is looking a bit bearish for now. We already have a temporary top at 2074.80, and if you look, we already have this weekly time frame. We already have bearish structure in set. If you look at it on the daily time frame, this area here, as since price has broken below it, you could see price is just ranging within it. So I'm of the opinion, and we already have bearish structure here. As you can see, that bearish structure comes in 1984.60. So price may try to rally up into that area. So what's our game plan on this pair? So the game plan on this pair is this is the July high. That July high comes in at 1983.10. So price may try to reach in here. If price gets rejected, then price may move lower. But if price closes above this 1983.10, then your next level is going to be at this point. That comes in at 2038. That will be your next level on gold to look for short positions. For now, it's still looking bullish, but we are in a kind of correction. So for the price to continue its bullish uptrend, it needs to move above 2075. If not, we might just see a bit of a sideways consolidation on this pair. So that's my view on this pair. So let me just put in this value here. So these are levels of importance on this pair to look to take short positions. That's 1983.10 and 2038.15. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is EURUSD. So looking at the EURUSD, this pair is still bullish for now. The pair is still bullish. The pair is still very, very bullish. So what you'll be looking at this pair is to buy into dips. So let me drop down to the 4-hour time frame. On this pair, you'll be looking to buy into dips. As you can see, there's a very, very good structure here at the weekly 50%, that's at 1841. So if price drops into this level and this level holds as support, then you might take a long position. So this will be a more viable area to take a long position on this pair. That is, as long as the weekly low, which comes in at 1762, is not broken on a daily close to the downside. So we also need to note this level. Price may try to rally into this level and drop to the downside. So we'll just note this area now. Note this area. Those are areas of interest that you should be looking at to take. If price gets to this level and gets rejected and gives you bearish evidence, then you might take a short position down to this area. So the next pair, but bear in mind this pair is still bullish. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the British pound dollar. So looking at the GBPUSD, this pair is still bullish. It's still bullish. The best play on this pair is to look to buy dips, because a move above last week's high at 33.56, this is the next target, 35.15. So on this pair, you'll be safer moving with the overall trend, which is to the upside. So you'll be looking to buy dips on this pair. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the EURGBP. So looking at this pair has a tilt to the downside. As you can see, if you look at it on the weekly, is a bearish engulfing close on the weekly, taking out this swing level here. So I'm of the opinion on this pair, you should be looking to sell into rallies on this pair. So I'm of the view on the EURGBP, you should be looking to sell into rallies on this pair. That's my view on this pair. As you can see, bearish rallies may be sold into below 89.76. As below this level, bearish rallies can be sold into, because this pair still has some move to the downside. If you remember from last week's review, I've been saying that this pair has a move. It's looking bullish, but it's more tilted to the downside. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is a British pound GBPCHF. So looking at this pair is also bullish. This pair is also bullish. If you look at it on the weekly time frame, you can see it took out these two highs here, all these highs here. So now the storyline on this pair is it needs to stay above 2035. So if it comes down, 2035 needs to serve as a support. If that gives way, then we might be looking at this area here. That's as long as price is above 1984, this pair still has more move to the upside, probably to this area 1.2191. So on this pair, bullish dips into the August high or the weekly 50 may be bought. So that's just it. As long as the previous week's low is still intact, this pair still has a move to the upside. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is AUDUSD. So looking at the AUDUSD, this pair is still very bullish. So looking at the AUDUSD, this pair is still very bullish. So on this pair, I'll just advise look to buy into dips. As should it fail to move above this weekly high and start to pull back, doesn't mean you can't take a short position, but if you take a short position, you know you're taking a counter trend move, and you'll be looking at this area here to take a long position in continuation with the overall trend, because this pair, the bias is still bullish. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the EURUSD dollar. So looking at this pair is still bearish, but in a consolidation for the time being. So on this pair, you'll be watching this last week's low and this July and June's low. Should price stay above this, most especially this 6102, there's a tendency it might move back into the range. Because if you look at it, if you go into a daily time frame and look at this pair, you can clearly see this pair is in a range, as you can see. It's in the sideways range. So there's a possibility they might drop down to this level, but to join the overall trend, I would suggest waiting to sell into rallies on this pair. So that's what I would suggest on this pair. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the New Zealand Aussie dollar, New Zealand US dollar. This pair also is still very bullish. Still very bullish. What I would suggest on this pair is you look to buy into dips. Should it start to pull back, you look to buy into dips because it's approaching a major level here. It's approaching this level here. That's 0.6785, and this other level here, 67.57. So those levels are areas of importance where price might spike through. If there's no follow through, then we might be looking at a bearish formation to go short to the downside. So on this pair, for the time being, it's just safe to look for bullish moves in direction with the prevailing trend. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the USDJPY. So this pair, as you can see, it's in a sideways consolidation. The overall bias is range. So on this pair, if price stays above 105.04, we might see a move higher. That's the deal on this pair. But should price move below 105.10, then we'll be looking at price coming to 104.18. But if it's coming down to 104.18, we need to bear in mind that we have structure here. So these are some of the things we need to pay attention to. So on this pair, I would suggest looking to sell into rallies for a move to the downside. As you can see, it's in a sideways move. So for this range so far now, this is the extreme low. So if it closes back in here, then it might give you an up move, a bullish move into this structure area or this area here. So for now, this pair is in a consolidation. We trade with caution. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the Euro-Yen. So looking at the Euro-Yen, is still slightly bullish, but it's in a consolidation for the time being. It's still slightly bullish. As you can see, price this 125.20 it still looks like it's acting as support. So I'm of the opinion, just look for bullish moves on this pair, because the overall trend on this pair is still bullish. Although it's in a sideways consolidation, it has a tendency to still power to the upside. So you'll be looking for bullish moves on the euro yen. Doesn't mean if you get a bearish move you can't take it, but you must know where you're getting the bearish move. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the pound yen. This pair also is still bullish, but in a consolidation. So as you can see, price broke above 140.21. As you can see, this is a retest, so we might see a move back to the upside. But if you look at this pair, it's at a weekly structure. This area here, it's at a weekly structure, so we just need to be a little bit more cautious of it. So even if you take a long position on this pair, your take profit should be around this area. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the US30. So let's briefly look at the US30. This pair is still very bullish for the time being. Still very bullish for the time being. So you'll be looking for dips to continue to the long side on this pair. So that's just what you'll be looking for. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is USDCAD. So looking at the USDCAD, this pair is still bearish to the downside. Still bearish to the downside. Let's pull up. There's something I want to show on the weekly. So if we look at it, there's weekly structure here. So that's where price dipped into on Friday. So there's a possibility we're going to see a bounce on this pair coming into this new week. So if that should play out, what is going to be your game? And remember, there's going to be news on Friday on this pair. So as long as price stays below 1.3133, this is a weekly low, it's going to move to the downside. But should you get a close on the daily back above this level, then you might see price retest this level here. So the next pair, last one we're going to be looking at is the USDCHF. So looking at the USDCHF, this pair is still tilted to the downside, but it's presently in a consolidation. As you can see, if you look at this, appears to be a kind of a range candle. This bullish candle is looking like a range candle. Price tried to the top and drop. So there's a possibility they might go on for the low. Should price take out 0.9010 and close back below it, price may really drop lower. So this level we'll be watching to see what happens. So on this pair is still bearish, but you might get a bullish evidence here. Should you get a bullish evidence here, doesn't mean you can't take it. But if you should take it, you should know that you need to reduce your exposure in order to stay in line with the prevailing trend. So that is it for this week's review. This week's review. Thank you all for taking your time to attend. This video will be posted on the YouTube channel. This is a YouTube channel, Plan Your Trade, Trade Your Plan. These are all my social media handles. The YouTube channel can be accessed from the Instagram page. So if you like this video, please subscribe, turn on the notification, and click the like buttons on the YouTube channel. It will go a long way in boosting our morale to continuing giving this out to you on a weekly basis. So one more thing, registration for the 9 weeks weekly 9 weeks training for October is currently ongoing. If you would like to reach across to me for registration, you could simply reach across to any of the social media handles that I've shown, and I'll be glad to attend to you. So till we meet again, probably within the week, thank you all for coming. Wish you a blessed night and a blessed and beautiful trading week ahead. Thank you.